Hey, John, it's Casper from Silver Tiger Media. How are you?
Hey, how you doing? Casper, you said?
Casper, it is. Mate, it's great to speak with you. Thank you very much for your time today.
Absolutely, thank you.
Congratulations on Sturm Und Drang. It's just sensational stuff. I have to ask you, though, why the title? A reference to 1700s German literature and busting loose of rationalism constraints, or just the translation, storm and stress?
All of that.
Fantastic.
At its most basic, storm and stress. But that is, what a great title lets the person taking it in put some of themselves into, and kind of isn't so cut and dry. But storm and stress, absolutely. And storm and stress would absolutely describe our last few years.
Indeed it would. This album clearly demonstrates that you are still challenging each other and yourselves as a group, sounding better than ever. Was that a natural maturing or a deliberate focus of this album?
Well, I feel like we do that just as a band, and we've always, I guess maybe we've gotten better at it. We've always tried to stretch we've always tried to stretch ourselves on records and do something kind of new, or kind of experiment with something new, a new feel, a new sound, a new color on the palette, as it were. And on this one, I guess Randy came at it saying, hey, I've got an idea I want to try, and I'll be damned if it didn't sound pretty cool.
Indeed, I'm with you there 100%. I was thrilled to hear collaborations with Greg Puciato on Torches and Chino Marino on Embers. What led to those collaborations?
Well, I think the Chino one was, when that song was first written, there was two different endings for Embers. One was a really heavy metal, a very metal ending, and one was more of a 90s alternate rock. And you can hear which one we went with. And I believe it was Mark and Josh having a conversation where Mark suggested, hey, perfect alternate 90s rock. The perfect voice for that is Chino. Let's see if he's interested. And it turns out that he was. As far as how Greg came into the mix, I have to claim complete ignorance. The vocals happened well after the music. And I think as things were coming together, possibly Randy said, hey, I got a friend who I think would be great for this, but I'm making that part up. I don't really know.
Oh, fantastic. Well, we'll stick with that story. It sounds great. Despite the obvious references to Randy being imprisoned in the Czech Republic, the album musically is magnificent work from all of you. Is there a central theme to the album besides the obvious?
Storm and stress is the theme of the album. It's just really about, as Randy has put the thematics, the theme coming from the lyrics is about people in these intense situations and how they deal with them and what happens.
Fantastic. And look, a track like Overlord is thoroughly tremendous. I can see why you've released that with a video clip. Have you been happy with the response to it so far? I'm sorry, repeat the question? Sorry, Overlord is such a tremendous track and quite progressive for you all, really. Have you been happy with the feedback and the video clip with Overlord?
Absolutely happy with the feedback. That was intensely fun for me to watch the world, in quotes, react through the internet. Mostly the people who were really bummed out about it. I read a guy saying that he wanted to cut his Lamb of God tattoo out of his arm after
really?
hearing that song, and that made my day. I don't think you understand. That's great for me. I mean,
nothing like having an impact. That's beautiful.
Yeah, and really, I mean, at the end of the day, I don't care what people think about it. As long as we are happy with what we're doing and feel good and strong about it, that's the point of what we're doing. We never intended to be rock stars doing this. We never intended to be successful. We just wanted to make shit that we were into. And we've been lucky enough that we've been able to continue that up through our now, way too long of a career.
There's no doubt. I think you'll attract a new audience with this album, let alone people from the past and people who have been faithful followers. I'm really surprised that somebody had cut their tattoo out because of some clean lyrics.
Yeah, some people, I guess you got to wonder about people who are so driven to get that tattoo in the first place.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
Now, John, you've been there right from the start as a founding member, right back to the Burn the Priest days. I know it's a broad question, but how has the journey been for you personally?
Well, having personally been the one doing the journey, it's been more than half of my life experience now, and I don't really have a different life to compare it to. But I can say that I've been able to experience and see some pretty amazing things, for which I consider myself very, very lucky. And it's been insane to think that we started as dudes in a basement drinking beer to being able to tour the world and had people from Australia bother to call you up and ask you questions about the album you just recorded.
Wow, what a brilliant answer. Thank you very much for that. I've always wanted to ask for myself, so I'll apologise for this question. Why the name change back then?
Oh, man, long ago, someone was bummed out about the Burn the Priest people thought we were satanic. They kind of thought it was a goofy name, and that we put a lot of time and effort and work into it for people to write it off as a goofy satanic band. And so when it came time to sign to Prosthetic Records back in 2000, I believe,
yes,
we figured that would be the best time to do that.
Fantastic, and it did have a hell of an impact right back in those days. Well, you're setting off on a massive tour tomorrow. Do you enjoy life on the road?
I love life on the road. There's some sacrifices made to do that, but performing the music that we spent all these hours busting our asses to write is to me ideal. I'm incredibly happy to be able to do that. I do have to leave at home my two young children, but Dad's got to go to work to pay the bills, and I can get home and hang out with them as much as I can when I'm there.
Absolutely. And look, we can't thank you enough for making that sacrifice. Well, we're thrilled in Australia to see you here for Soundwave earlier this year. And your Sidewave show with Killer Be Killed was just a tremendous highlight of the year. Firstly, thank you for coming out to see us.
Yeah, no problem. Australia is a joy to tour. I don't think we've been down there in the winter time, whatever that exactly is for you guys. But it's always beautiful weather down there, beautiful people, and great times. It's a pleasure to tour there.
Fantastic. Well, you've come at the right time because I'm freezing my ass off right now.
Sorry to hear that.
As you know, you have a huge fan base here. And are there plans in the works to return to Australia in the near future?
I don't think we have anything on paper, but we are beginning a tour cycle that I'm hoping is going to be 18 to 24 months long. We'll definitely be back down. That way.
Fantastic. We're busting for another Soundwave appearance, and your Sidewaves are sensational. I have to ask you, tracks like Erase This really highlight your personal skill. Do you have a personal favourite from the new album?
I really like Embers, specifically bass-wise. Just that song came together really cool, and at the end just kind of stretched out and an alternative 90s rock part to try and kind of fill it up more as a bass player than as just the low-end guitar ass kicker in the heavy metal. And that was really fun for me. I really dig that track.
Oh, sensational. And John, for you personally, is it your preference always to use a pick in your bass playing, or a finger's an option?
My preference is my pick. I played with my fingers on the Burn the Priest record many years ago, and I ended up transitioning to a pick because just keeping up with the grrr and being able to actually play that stuff, which it turns out most bass players don't. I didn't know any better. I just kind of developed that technique with a pick, and I think it's served me pretty well.
Oh, that's sensational. Look, it really helps out the pit vibe too when you chuck a pit out there and we all get to fight over it.
Right. Well, if I threw it towards you, you're mistaken. I was probably throwing it towards the cute girl you were standing next to.
Oh, fair enough too. I can understand that. That'll be my wife, the photographer.
Fair enough.
John, I'm really sorry to resort to the genre question, but I've always wanted to ask you for myself. If you were to impose a genre on yourselves, what would it be?
Heavy metal. I don't really know. I think we use different elements of what people have classified as different genres of metal. but we don't really. I mean, being the people making the music, we don't think of it from that same perspective.
Sure.
We have a much different relationship with the music in that regard. So when this question comes up, heavy metal is my response because it's absolutely metal, and our goal is to put out heavy music, and that's our genre.
And you've certainly achieved that.
Unfortunately, we're not the ones that get to choose the genre that we're in. It's just labels that people put on us to be able to discuss something in the abstract without actually being in the middle of it.
Absolutely agreed, and it is sensational work, and I try not to impose genres myself if I can possibly avoid it, so I thank you for entertaining that question.
Sure.
Well, John, thank you very much for this magnificent work. Your upcoming tour is sure to be a huge success, so good luck and safe travels on that.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Pleasure, and I've got to thank you very much for your time today. It's a thrill to catch up with you, particularly after seeing you working back in February out here in Australia, and we can't wait to see you back here again.
Right on, yeah, I can't wait to get back. Hopefully it'll be sooner than later.
Absolutely. Tremendous. Thank you for your time, brother.
All right, man. Thank you.
Take
Bye-bye.
care.